Game number 3 of the semifinal. Scaphism is up 2-0. We did see an awesome nuke last game, though. That was quite exciting. A very prolonged game in which summerloud was just grasping for the cliff edge, and Scaphism just kept stomping his hands and saying, no, you're not. summerloud was reaching with his second hand trying to get back up there, and he did swing around and grab a branch. He grabbed a root of a tree from the side of the cliffside. When that nuke landed, it was glorious, but then Scaphism basically just shot him in the face, and he fell from the cliff. That was how that game went. Really wonderful matches, though, so far from both of these players. Summerloud in the upper right, getting Nerazim, a faction we have not seen yet played today. A very sneaky race. Very sort of like Raiders equivalent for Protoss in that they have a lot of really sneaky tactics. I don't know how else to really describe them, but they have a lot of cool things that you can do. Very, very powerful harassment units, and because of that, there's actually... You know what, wait, who's Scaphism playing? He got Covenant. We gotta check out what our matchup is before we start talking about these players. So we've seen some Covenant today, so we'll talk about them a little later, but let's talk about Nerazim. There's actually an upgrade you need to research at your Cybernetics core to allow you to build pylons away from your Nexus. When you start as Nerazim, you can only build a certain distance away from your Nexus, which does make you inherently weak to... I guess maybe swarm Zergling run-bys or something like that, like really fast rushes, because you can't build a wall? I don't know. It depends on what the range realistically is, but it's this Nerazim pylon power. It can only be constructed in the proximity of a Nexus. Click on the Nexus to see the allowed range. Can we see it from here? Oh, okay. You can definitely build a wall. I was going to say, that would be a strange oversight, but no, you can definitely build a wall. Completely disregard what I just said. I know what I'm talking about. What's new? I don't pretend to hide how misinformed I am. Okay, I don't care. Everybody knows it. I do my best. It's about entertainment value here, folks, okay? So we've got some Fanatics out here. All three races of Protoss, one being the Tal'Darim faction of the Covenant, have their own version of Zealots. Fanatics used to be super, super strong. They've been nerfed into semi-oblivion at this point. They're very quick. Not as fast as Fanatics, but they are quite fast, and they do a lot of damage. But the big thing for them is eventually... not eventually, they just have it, is Nerazim shields. They're good for harassment because you can go in, do some damage, get them out of there, and Nerazim shields, their shields recharge very fast out of combat. Very, very fast out of combat. So it allows them to get in, do some damage, and then not die immediately. So here we go. We got a Devotee versus Fanatic, and the Fanatics, there's 3 of them. Really, really fast, very, very fast rush here from Summerloud. We used to see some really neat Fanatic rushes from Apocalypse back in the day. That was definitely his thing, and it looks like Summerloud doing a bit of a callback there. Scaphism got to skedaddle away if he wants to survive this. He may end up having to really use this orbital strike. Will Summerloud expect it? He's running in. He knows it's going to happen. Is he going to use it? I think Scaphism is just waiting for the right time to use that orbital strike. The Devotees, though, they're strong, but they're not strong enough to the point where they can go 2-on-3 like this. And, oh, one gets trapped. That's a big deal. And do we have another? We do have another Devotee coming out. That Devotee's death, though, assuming the Citadel finishes. Oh, there it was. I don't think he landed it, though. One Fanatic goes down. We have a third one, or a fourth one, rather, coming across the map. And Scaphism's going to have to fight really hard to hold on here. And the Warbots are exactly what he needs. He is supply blocked, though, which is a really big deal. Once the Citadel finishes, though, he can get an Ascendant out, but it may not have enough energy to do anything. So will he really want to pop out that Ascendant or not? It's hard to say. Here's the Warbot. It is kiting these things around, which will allow the Devotees to get in there and start to clean this up. So really well done. Good micro there from Scaphism using the Warbot. Again, it does pretty pathetic damage, but it forces the Fanatic to chase them around and allow the Devotees to shoo those Fanatics away. More Fanatics. Summerloud is doubling down on this. Will he be able to really make anything work? I don't know, but he did take his expansion pretty soon, pretty quick. And what's he transitioning into? He does have a Cybernetics core, and he's getting that Warp Pylons upgrade, which is so terribly important, as I described before. Eventually, you can get Warp Harmonization, which decreases your Warp Gate cooldowns. Nerazim have Warp Gates, Kala do not. So Nerazim is sort of more of a StarCraft 2-aligned Protoss faction. They've got the Warp in, they have a lot of Spellcasters, they have a lot of niche units, which is, again, StarCraft 2 Protoss. Like I was saying earlier, some people don't like that because it's just everything is Spellcast, like Protoss, everything is use this ability, gotta use an ability. Adepts have an ability, Zealots kind of have an ability, Immortals have an ability that used to be on autocast that they changed and now it's not on autocast. And then, did they change that back? I know they were talking about it. Stalkers have an ability to use, like everything, there's no just beefy meat to your army as Protoss that you don't have to have some sort of usable ability on until you get to Archons or something like that. It's just Protoss is lower units, lower number of units with just lots and lots of usable abilities. And that's kind of like Nerazim as well. Nerazim is such a cool late game, but you so rarely see them get to late game, because Nerazim tend to either win pretty early or lose pretty early because they can't defend against something. This map is reasonably sized, though, so we might see them. Yeah, Scaphism does have a lot of warbots out, though. We may see some challenges here for Summerloud, which would deliver the semifinals into Scaphism's hands. Will he be able to hold on? There is an Ascendant out with enough energy for at least one Psionic Orb. There may be enough for more later. That was the probe that was probably meant to build a warp pylon out there, but there is another backup probe. And these Fanatics doing their best to try to kite these, or the Devotees doing their best to kite the Fanatics around. And how many, I mean, realistically, how many units are left on the field right now? Only 3 Fanatics for Summerloud versus 5 Warbots. But only 1 Devotee left, but the Devotees that have died can become more Ascendants later once there's enough gas. Okay, and the Devotees used to kite the Fanatics around, and just Devotees and Warbots very good against Nerazim because those Fanatics can't afford to kite. Plasma Cannons trying to be set up. I don't know if any of these will actually finish in time. Summerloud trying to throw down some frantic defense. Building some inside of his base as well. He does have the shield boost, which could be quite effective if he had units here to cast it on. He's warping in Pilgrims. I don't know what these do. I've never seen these before. What the devil? Ah, and he used the Nerazim shield boost to nullify the Psionic Orb. That was enormous. He kills the Ascendant. And I don't know what these Pilgrims are doing, but they're doing something. They warp in Stasis Wards. Oh, he's going to try to lure the Warbots into them, I suppose. And these Pilgrims they're like a Vorazun model. And there's the Plasma Cannons finishing up now, but they're in a bad spot. These Pilgrims seem like spellcasters. Ah, so they can heal, a damage over time heal. They have a minor attack, and they go. The last Pilgrim already goes down, but whatever they did seemed to already be effective. There is the expansion down here, so Dark Shrine out already as well. You have to enable all your units as Nerazim. One thing I didn't really have the time to point out, but all your units, you can't actually build them until you enable them. So like at the Cybernetics Core, you enable the Stalker, you enable the Adept. That costs money. And the Dark Shrine goes down already. Just these 3 Warbots. Oh, it hurts to see. And it looks like Scaphism going to keep this pressure on. He has not taken an expansion. And I think that this damage was done by Summerloud earlier, so that wasn't anything new. And now we've got a lot of Fanatics. Oh, an early Harrier. Yikes. Now we're going to see if these Fanatics can really do what they need to do. And there's, once again, using the shield boost to get his probes on top of these really powerful ranged units. This Harrier is basically a Vanguard from the campaign, but you can damage, or you can dodge its attacks. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Summerloud and Scaphism both fully in this game at this point. Completely still in this game. This is incredible. And we do have the Plasma Cannons here. They're kind of walled in here. That'll protect against more melee attacks. It's really just mass Warbots that may cause a problem. And just like that, we're somehow transitioning into the mid-game when I thought this would be over very, very fast. So let's check out these Pilgrims. They can lay down a Stasis Ward. Makes any friendly ground unit invulnerable and unable to attack or use abilities for 20 seconds. But it can still move. That's actually quite interesting. I wonder in what situation that would be particularly useful. The Stasis Wards, I understand, are absolutely useful. They're permanently cloaked. We've got +1 coming out for Summerloud, and what is being built by Scaphism now deciding to take his expansion, realizing that his early push, his early Ascendant Harrier push is not going to work. That was incredible, though. But the fact that we saw 1 Ascendant and Harrier go down to Workers because of that Town Hall defensive ability. It's incredibly, incredibly useful, and honestly, any other race would not have been able to do that. The other races have really powerful abilities, but in just this specific niche instance, the shield boost was what allowed that Psionic Orb and the Harrier shots to be completely nullified. These Pilgrims seem cool. They also are ranged. But that really was basically down to the wire. Oh, I see. So he's using the Pilgrim to scout because it's invulnerable. I see. So it's kind of like an Adept Shade, except you can't warp to it. And just decides, nope, not today. And here are those Devotees back from the grave. Not really back from the grave, but their life essence used to call forth Ascendants that are going to just wreck the shit of anybody who decides to stand in a straight line in front of them. Robo Facility coming out for Summerloud. That's where you can get Oracles and Annihilators and eventually Disruptors. We'll see if we get any of those used. You do have to enable all of them from the Robo Bay, I think. Right now, all we can make are Oracles and Warp Prisms. So he is making that Robo Bay right now, though, and both players, I think, sort of tentative, not sure what the other player can really field at this moment. I think Scaphism throwing down his missile battery, these can attack ground and air, sort of like Terran photon cannons in a way. They shoot very quickly. They just shoot multiple missiles at one time. So it looks like they do low damage, but you can say 8 attacks is a big deal. Okay, and again, both players not entirely sure what the other is fielding, so summerloud moving up and using that Void Sanctuary to pretty good effect. Don't want to use that, don't want to lose that Pilgrim, though, so you just got to get in there and then back out as well. So it's not like Adepts where you can just warp to them, which can get really irritating. But he also has a warp pylon up here, so he could either warp in reinforcements or send in some attacking forces if he notices Scaphism's army is out of position. So we may be heading, again, to a... We're already in the mid-game at this point, so I don't know what that really means for both these players and what their ultimate goals are. We have Disruptors being enabled. So you have to wait for the Disruptor to be enabled, but then you can warp them in. Again, these are warp robos, so you don't have to build them. So as long as these things are enabled, you warp them in, and it's near immediate. But will they be done in time as Scaphism decides to move out? And one stasis trap, though, giving summerloud... telling summerloud that this attack is coming, and he moves his Fanatics and his Pilgrims back because I don't think he quite has enough. He might want to set up some of those plasma cannons, which were very effective in keeping him alive in the past. Setting up more warp gates, building more pylons. He's got the warp robo, the disruptor enable. His disruptors are enabled. He's getting shadow charge for his Fanatics. But what do we have here? Hybrid destroyers coming out for Covenant. We have not seen any hybrid units yet. Until now. Very, very cool units. They are literally just, they're hybrid units. They're what you would expect. So it's cool to see them. That Vanguard, or Harrier in the back, can do a lot of damage. This is a really cool, really, really cool Mobius hybrid Tal'Darim composition coming out from Covenant. It's very diverse. Very, very cool to see. Trying to frantically throw down another Stasis Ward, which should help a lot. We've got Disruptor hits! Oh! Oh, that was big. He did get a couple units there, and there's the Stasis Ward. If he engages, now should be the time. His Disruptors, though, are on cooldown. He's got to get them out of there. He does manage to keep them alive as the Pilgrims heal them up, and he decides with the Stasis Wards going off right now, this is his chance to get rid of the Harriers. He's trying to move the Disruptors to avoid the Harrier shots. Really big engagement there, and that's not going to work. That's not going to work. Summerloud, why you do this? You wanted to hit these. They're invulnerable when they're in that, and one hybrid goes down. Really big pickoff. As Summerloud using those Pilgrims to huge advantage with the stasis traps. Like I said, sneaky Nerazim, that's what they're used for. And now that Shadow Charge is done, he can chase down these hybrids. Really big pickoffs for Summerloud as now he's deciding to press his advantage. What does Scaphism have on the back end of this? He does have a missile battery, which will protect his hybrid. He has 4 hybrid out. And tons of stuff happening. He's got Shadow Charge finishing up for his Fanatics, which allows him to charge through things. And then Warp Harmonization, which will just allow him to warp in things even faster. Both players on 3 bases, almost. Well, this is done, but it's not saturated, so it's not quite 3 bases. And supply is it's not great. It's not great for Summerloud, excuse me, for Scaphism. But he does have a lot of hybrid, which are very strong. Okay, he did send a Fanatic in here just properly. Oh, this is dirty. So he's going to have a Fanatic just sitting in his enemy's base, his expansion down here by using is basically, again, it's sort of like an adept warp, and he's just got it here now that can start attacking Mobius SCVs. That's a big deal. And Scaphism doesn't have anything back there. Does he realize that this is happening? He's not moving his units back. What's being built? We got another Harrier coming out, more Warbots. Harriers are great. It's just if your opponent knows how to deal with them, they can kind of avoid the shots. This Fanatic is just going ham. Trying to click on him before he dies. Didn't quite see, but how many workers? It's even! That was big for Summerloud. Again, Summerloud is sort of increasing the gap, and he's just going to keep doing this, it looks like. Good orbital strike there. And I think Summerloud could just keep doing this. That does cost a decent chunk of energy, though. You'd have to make your entire army invulnerable, and it's basically opening the door. He could make a Disruptor invulnerable, fly it in, wait for it to no longer be invulnerable. But that would give Scaphism plenty of time to respond and just move his SCVs. So that's... I don't find it like super easy or anything like that. More Fanatics coming out. Really big Fanatic push here for Summerloud. And we've got Advanced Ballistics coming out for Scaphism, which will allow his Harriers to shoot even further. These Harriers are so good. I love them a lot. But I can't say that I would think that they're great for... because they do friendly fire, and I can't say they're great against Fanatics. I think Scaphism needs more Ascendance, which he had, but I think died. He just needs something to deal with this amount of Fanatics, which are just going to surround his units and absolutely murder them. All right, we've got 2 Annihilators out. These are not quite immortals. They actually do pretty low damage. But the Shadow Cannon, it's on autocast. Sometimes I used to say you should just turn that off autocast. I don't like it being on autocast, to be honest, because it's going to end up wasted on something. Man, this Robobay looks so weird from another angle as it researches. It's like weird, creepy little fingers. Okay, anti-grav for Warp Prisms. Oh, dear. We're going to see the Warp Prisms here. And he's making some stuff invulnerable. He's going to probably send those in to continue his harassment. A lot of Warbots out now, though. That might be what he needs. We do have the Missile Battery out, which will help a little bit. And it looks like Scaphism sending all of his units to respond. He really only needs 1 or 2 things. He's got the Missile Battery, so that should keep him safe in all of these bases. And he sneaks! Ooh, look at that. He snuck an SCV out there. All the Disruptor shots wasted. Not wasted per se. I would say Scaphism dodged them. And there's a really good Vanguard shot showing how much damage you can do in one big group. And both players, they're not sure. They want to do it, but they're not sure. And once Advanced Ballistics finishes, that's going to be a difference maker. But look at this, Summerloud sending an asshole Warp Prism around the sides to drop in a bunch of asshole units that get warped in. But one gets picked off. Yikes! But here comes another one. Oh dear. Oh, I don't want to watch. Oh, I don't want to see it happen. Okay, well, the SCV's escaping properly. We got a nice orbital call down right there. We'll see. He should be able to use it again before the Command Dome gets completely destroyed. Or maybe not. It might be close. And use it again. You might as well use it again. I know he's actually distracted. There was a big engagement here that I completely missed. Disruptors going down. Actually, it looks like Scaphism able to hold on here as his Vanguards with the Advanced Ballistics able to do a lot of damage against those Zealots while the Hybrid Destroyers kind of sat up in the front and dealt with them. Meanwhile, the Warbots turn around to deal with the Fanatics. This is an awesome game. The problem is Scaphism is really, really low in terms of economy right now. He needs to take more bases. He lost his main expansion. He's down a little bit in Harvesters. What are we looking at right here? Workers killed. Huge for Summerloud right now. So Summerloud kind of bringing this series back. He has a chance to make it 1-2. Scaphism up 2-0. If Scaphism wins this, he wins the series, and Summerloud is not making it easy. More Fanatics being sent across the map. I like how we've seen those Pilgrims be used to send those in to do a lot of work. And Summerloud is trying to take all sorts of bases all over the map. Look at how fast those Fanatics are now. 5.6 movement speed. Are you crazy? Okay. So what's being built now? We've got more Hybrid Destroyers coming out. We've got Droids coming out. We've got a little bit of an engagement right here as all of the Zealots, some of the Zealots are getting lifted, which is a nice boon. Oh, the Disruptor's getting caught out, and also the Annihilators. Wow, big pickoffs there for Scaphism as he decides to make a little bit of a push. We'll see how much further he decides to go. He's not retaking his expansion, but he does see there's another Warp Prism here that's getting set up, and it's going to prove to continue to be really irritating. What actually just killed that? What killed that Warbot? Because these hadn't even spawned yet. You have to really keep these areas secured. And all of these SCVs going down as he pulls his army back as Summerloud continues to expand across the map, enabling Vindicators. I don't even know what those are. Enabling Vindicators. Oh, and those are the Tempests. Okay, so he's got 2 different types of capital ships coming out, which I'm very excited to see because I don't even know what this is. I think we've seen these one time, and they're very, very, very cool looking. The question is, I hope Summerloud isn't going to throw away this game because he knows he can get to late game Nerazine, which I had just said is freaking awesome. But you just need to... Did these players realize they're so close to each other? But is freaking awesome, and we rarely get to see it. But this is an instance where we will finally get to see it. Those Harriers may be doing more friendly fire right now. Okay, Moby's Commando getting healed up. But again, I hope he doesn't throw it away thinking like, oh, I can do something really cool here. Does Scaphism realizing that this is happening? Because this is bad for him. Summerloud, though, is warping in. Again, he's got the ability to make Vindicators. Does he have any on the field? I don't see any right now. He's enabling Tempest. He's got Shadow Fury coming out. That's going to be very, very good if he decides to make more Dark Templar, or any Dark Templar for that matter. And let's keep an eye out on what's happening around the map. More Stasis Wards going down, maybe giving Scaphism a chance to kind of come back from this little bit of a defeat. And there is the Vindicator, which I think is based off of the Dark Templar shuttles from the first Shakuras mission in Legacy of the Void. But I think these attack really, really, really fast. Yeah, 0.1 weapon speed. This is a very, very cool looking capital ship. So this might be This might really be the boon that Summerloud needs to put the nail in the coffin here. Scaphism is hugely supply blocked. He does have hybrid cells out. He has the ability to make Nemesis and Reaver and Destroyers, but he just doesn't have the income to do anything right now. He does have a nice army here, but if he runs too many into one stasis trap, he's going to have trouble. Again, both these players I don't think realize they're this close to each other as they know, but I think Scaphism is about to find out. Did he catch that right there? Yes, he did. So he knows that that's there. Summerloud is sort of claiming these outer expansions. Now he's got Tempests out right now. I think Tempests, I think they're just exactly how they are in vanilla. They don't have any special abilities or anything, but they look friggin' awesome, don't they? Okay, and Scaphism doing what he needs to do. He's getting rid of this stuff, but this is scary. Let's see how this engagement goes, and oh my word, what did this just do? Chrono Bomb, 50% increased movement speed for Vindicator and nearby units. That's huge for the Fanatic, actually. And all these Fanatics are just going to run in, and this thing is real cool looking, and it did its job. That was a real cool ability that I've never seen used before.